Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be discussing why I decided to buy the Leica MP Type 240 in the year 2025. So, starting off, first getting into cameras, my first camera that I was able to purchase was a Canon PowerShot. It was like a zoom camera that can go like 60 times magnification. And then after that, I went into the Canon Rebel TI series. I had the T6i. That was my first introduction into a compact camera frame. And then from there, moved on to the 6D Mark II as my first full frame camera. And now the camera I use for live events, music, anything else, I use the Canon R6 II. So kind of coming from that line of digital cameras, I never really thought of having like a compact camera, digital camera that I can take with me everywhere. So earlier this year, I just got to thinking like what camera would best suit my needs for what I want to do. I want to be doing travel, have a secondary camera on live music events if I'm working with an artist to capture moments that I wouldn't necessarily catch on film, or if I don't have film, what is the best alternative? I was looking into several cameras. They got the Fuji camera fixed frame, also the Leica Q3, which is also a fixed frame. I was just trying to like rattle in my mind, like, going from a Leica, it's high range camera, and then looking at the Fuji, whose prices have increased over the years. I was trying to think like what would be the most bang for my buck. What is something that once I purchase it, this is the final go-to, can last for a significant amount of time, not needing to upgrade or anything like that. When I was doing my research, I was looking into Leica bodies. They have the M11, very expensive, and then M10. So I was trying to find something that is still a Leica rangefinder camera, and then also something that I can interchange the lenses as needed. Because usually on my cameras, everything's like a fixed focal length, especially on my film cameras. There's no telephoto lens or anything. I want to have something that I could interchange the lenses, and then have something that's also like small and compact. If I'm going for a walk or traveling or just going somewhere, this would easily be in my kit and good to go. I was looking into kind of the lower end of like a camera, something that would be a good entry point for me, and not going necessarily all the way with the M11, which I hear are great. M10s also hear they're great. But I wanted something that kind of fit into my aesthetic, my design. So with the Leica cameras, they have the big logos on top, and try to avoid that as much as I can. I do have this M4P that I recently picked up. It does have the logo, but I like, this is how I hold the camera, so it doesn't really make a difference. But with that, I have been able to acquire two lenses. So I have the 50 millimeter lens that I like. You could just very discreet, very compact. So this kind of is living on this camera for right now. And then I also have this Voigtlander 35 millimeter. So these are the two go-to lenses I have. They fit really great into my Peak Design or any bag that's around 6 liters. Easily can have both of these cameras and then switch out the lenses as needed. I really wanted to get a camera that I can use for candid moments as well. So I've had opportunities when I've been working with an artist. So I was able to work with an artist recently, Aroma, based here in the Bay Area, and I had the Kex KF01 flash, compact flash. So it's been great to just have this camera and then have this flash along with it. So it's just, really easily set up with the hot shoe and getting things set up, and really love the images that I'm able to get with this little compact flash combo, especially like, being in concert and venue areas, very dark. So working with an artist and having that opportunity to use a pop-up flash has been great. And this flash is also compatible with my camera, on my film cameras as well, that have a hot shoe mount, and also works with my film camera too. So it's been a great little addition to my kit. Before I go off on a tangent, this camera has been great to use in daylight, concerts, live music, traveling. It's a little bit heavier than anticipated, hence why I have like some scratches here and there since purchasing it, because I have bumped into a couple things with this camera. But overall, I really love the colors I'm able to capture with this camera, whether in low light or just a bright sunny day. The colors from the sensor is crazy. It's the first CMOS sensor for the Leica cameras coming from the M9. It's wild the colors I'm able to get, and it really aligns with my style of photography. My style of photography, I've coined it cinematic realism. I gain a lot of inspiration from movies, especially cinematographers, as I've mentioned before, Sir Roger Deakins, also um, Lauren Shaw, who did the Joker movies. I really love their color palettes, and I'm able to get those colors that I've seen in films and get it in this camera. Earlier this year, I took a walk around my area and I saw a local auto shop here. They do upholstery and everything. So just walked by and garage was open and I saw a plethora of classic cars there. It's kind of my vibe, my go-to. And I had this camera on me and I just started taking pictures with approval from the owner, of course. Really nice dude. And I was able to capture some of these pictures. So when capturing these pictures, this was my first introduction to the rangefinder way, I guess, kind of understanding how to do the focusing, and coming from like an SLR camera or my medium format cameras where you need to like dial in the focus. This was just a little bit different for me initially. So I think I grabbed some amazing photos of the auto upholstery shop. I really just love the color renditions and the shininess, and I really love how it renders skin tones as well. Just beautiful, beautiful colors. I also had an opportunity to kind of just walk around my area. So like having this camera is like making me explore more and go outside. Still kind of same feeling with film. At least now I don't have to like meter, go slow and like take my time, compose. I can still do those things, but it's just so nice to like have everything in the sensor, make all my quick adjustments to make sure I'm getting the light that I need. And I just snap away and that's it. The other thing I really love about this camera is shooting in the black and white mode. So the way I kind of set up my camera, I take the DNG file plus a JPEG file. So it'll capture the DNG in color and then also get a black and white rendition in the JPEG, which has been pretty great. I also had an opportunity to go by a local bar. I stumbled upon a pool tournament and was just so inspired by the people who were playing. They were playing several rounds, in this tournament. And I met a couple nice folk there that let me take their picture while they were playing, and I just love the light that I was able to capture. Really plays into my theme of cinematic realism, and these colors just truly pop. It's just, I don't know what else to say about this camera. It just gets everything that I wanted, and it's such a great addition to my setup. So here's some of those photos that I got from the local pool tournament. So there was another opportunity. I was feeling adventurous and inspired by one of my favorite films, The Big Lebowski. I decided to go to a bowling alley. I was, working with a low light. I mostly shot this camera lens at 1.4 and just try to make sure I was getting as much light as I could while still keeping my ISO low, and then just seeing the kind of color renditions I'm able to pull from the image, just really rich and vibrant. And I got some photos of people playing. I actually met this dude who was just taking a little break from his round, and he had a couple bandages on his hand. Wanted to take a picture of that, and I captured that in black and white. And then also there was like an arcade area, so lots of neon lights. Again, I really love how I'm able to pick up on the vibrancy of the colors in those situations. Like it just really just makes my day. So happy I was able to like invest in this camera. Other situations, like I've mentioned, I bring this along with me if I'm working with an artist and I want to get some candid shots. So this has been really great with the KF01 flash. I'm able to get like the pop of light that I need when capturing moments and backstage moments, especially. And some of the photos I got are just some of my favorites. Again, capturing some stuff in black and white, getting them in color. But everything just works so well together. Even though this camera is more than 10 years old, it easily stacks up to the camera I have today. And I would say against any other Leica camera that's out right now. I would say they're Leica purists or whatever. People don't be editing their pictures or stuff, whatever. Every picture I take is a facet of how I see it in the real world, how my imagination plays into those images, and how I want to bring the life and vibrancy of those images to life in my pictures. So I do post editing, but every photo I take is an extension of how I see the world and how I express myself. Having this as a tool, a base tool to get the images I want is a no-brainer. I would also talk about the battery life on this camera. Like, this thing lasts forever, and I really like, it might be gimmicky, but when you open this, it's kind of like the bottom of a film camera. And then this is the battery. I know they don't make them anymore and it's really hard to get your hands on it, but these batteries last forever, like at least a week. If you're not like shooting every day, it will last quite a long time. I know there's been like other videos here on YouTube where people have had gone several days, several weeks without charging the battery. Just really in love with this camera, and the all black is just, it goes for me. I know that these cameras are like big investments, and people say, the gear doesn't necessarily make the photo. I totally understand. But for what I'm looking for, the type of images I want to craft, and just how I want to tell my story through my eyes and how I see the world, this has been such an invaluable tool to have. I've taken this out to the beach. I've taken this out to a recent sunrise ceremony where I was able to capture one of my favorite pictures. I feel like every picture I take on here is a favorite picture of mine. That's, I would say, now we're not given directly to the Leica name, but I totally understand why Leica is Leica. But yeah, this is such an amazing camera. Like I said, I'm able to interchange the lenses. So I have a 35 and 50. That's all I'm shooting. No longer, no smaller. I would say, buying these on like Craigslist or seeing them sold secondhand, you can definitely get an entry level like for an affordable price. I went to the Leica store and I saw the same camera body for around 2000. The quality is there. the camera will stand up and this will last you a long time. Like, I don't see myself upgrading, trying to get another camera unless this like totally devolves on itself, which I don't think, like it would bet their reputation on, right? That their things are made to last. It is an investment, but I feel like the images I'm able to take and just capturing moments and not having to carry like my very big Canon R6 II with the telephoto lens I have everywhere is just, it's less intimidating, more practical, able to get great quality photos with just beautiful skin renditions and bountiful and just bountiful and just wonderful colors that just extend to how I see the world have been so vital and pivotal for me. I've taken this to weddings, I've taken this to just visiting friends and family and documenting things that, I would have documented on film, but, having this is kind of like my film replacement when I don't feel like shooting film. And because I do a lot of the development and scanning and all of that for my film personally, sometimes I don't feel like doing that. I'm just like, I just want to be able to take my picture and I want to see it later. Really would recommend this camera. I use this picture to take my LinkedIn photo. Like, it's such a great camera. And again, really love the colors because of that CMOS sensor. Really love the skin renditions when you're taking your photographing people. Just great overall camera to have. I have no qualms or complaints. There was a couple times where there was dust on the sensor. Like going to the beach, I got some sand particles, but that's easily to be cleaned. There was a time where I had the light metering on an advanced setting, so it caused a delay. And when I would push the shutter, I was sending a question to Red Dot Repair, and I was trying to see if I need to get it CLA'd or anything, but then they told me it's just a settings issue, and that cleared it right away. So easy fix. And it's just an overall just great camera. Really liking the ergonomics of this camera. It's much different than other cameras I have, and I just feel like I'm able to move in a faster pace. Yeah, I was able to even take this to New York just for my first time going to that city and just documenting what I'm seeing. Just happy about the purchase, even though my wallets have been screaming. It's all for the good in the end. I don't see myself purchasing any more cameras in the foreseeable future. Like, I'm done. I have everything I need or want. The next thing is to go into cinema and looking at those cameras, but that's still ways away. What are your thoughts on the MP240? Is this something you would purchase? Would this be like your entry level Leica? Like, what are your thoughts on this camera? I want to thank you all so much for joining. Anything you have to say, please let me know down in the comments. Excited just to talk more about my work in general and things coming up. I really appreciate y'all tuning in for this video. Again, please like, subscribe. If you want to check out my work, please look me up on Instagram or my website for any photos. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.